The other issue that you have spoken to is the issue of sexual harassment. Yeah. In a very interesting way in terms of defining, well, you explained to me, the sort of 3 ages of man.
Yeah, well, I mean, how do we think about sex? I do think there was a time, I'm not going to idealize that time, where, well, there were 4 really. There was one, first, you do sex in marriage. Right. Sex is in marriage, and it's a sacred thing. It's a fulfillment of the marriage vow. Then there was another realm, which I think we shifted to, only have sex with people you love. Right. And that it is the final sense of communication with someone who you might want to spend the rest of your life with.
It's the defining emotional attachment.
Right. And then it's become, in some quarters, it's what you do for pleasure. And if you've been on a college campus or been to a New York bar or a club in New York, it's very naked. If you're dancing at 2 in the morning and somebody is not going to come home with you, you think, well, thanks, I'll find somebody else, because that's what I'm here for. Right. And so it became just a source of pleasure in the 3rd regime. And then in the 4th regime, it became this weird mixture, which is the harassment regime, where it's this weird mixture of sexuality and power. And these 2 things fuse together. And the men who do this tend to start young. And as we've learned over the last several weeks, they don't just do it once or twice. This is a lifetime pattern, that when it's a Louis C.K., Harvey Weinstein, whatever, there's lots of women coming out of the woodwork, because it is that weird mixture of lust combined with dominance, combined with an inability to see the person you are there with. And what struck me about a lot of people have denied it, some have come out with apologies. What struck me about the apologies, the first thing they say is, and I sort of believe them, I had no idea the women were thinking this way. I think that it's just an inability to put your mind in the mind of the person you are pushing yourself all over. And it's sort of a moral and humanist blindness toward another human being's experience.
It's a significant societal change, for sure.
Yeah, no, well, the first thing that I think is now going to happen, and there have been a lot of cases of, some friends of mine at the New Republic, there was a case involving this guy, Leon Wieseltier, and someone complained to the then editor, Peter Beinart, who's a very good guy, and he raised a ruckus a bit, but now I hope it won't just be a little ruckus. Everyone will think, Code Red, we're going to Code Red, this is a big thing, we're not going to tolerate this. It became somehow vaguely, it was not something people got their hair on fire over. And I think now it'll be something they got their hair on fire. And the uncomfortable thing for a lot of progressive, frankly, is how much did the Clinton thing create this whole environment? How much did tolerance of Bill Clinton create the environment in which the rest of this was given permission?
How much do you think?
I think it had effect. I think the fact that nobody was approving of Bill Clinton and some of the things he was accused of doing by Kathleen Willey and those sorts of people, but people were not saying, no, we're drawing the line here. And if you don't draw lines in these big cases, then you don't draw lines in the little cases in the workplace. And so now we're seeing we saw Republicans, tolerating what Donald Trump was accused of doing. And today we're seeing this astounding case where Republicans in Alabama are tolerating what Judge Roy Moore is accused of doing, and using some of the lamest.
He was a teenager.
Yeah, making advances on a 14-year-old girl and some others. And so, one of the defenses from one of the Republican officials down there was, well, Joseph, was with Mary, and Mary was a teenager in the Bible. It's like, are you kidding me? This is the argument you're using. It's so mind-boggling, and it's a sign of how partisanship has replaced everything else. Partisanship can blind you to morality, toward the truth. Partisanship has become the idol of our time.